But, Sean, we have to have a difficult conversation. I'm warning you, it's going to be a difficult conversation.
More difficult than a colonoscopy?
For some of my friends who are New York baseball fans, yes, this will be very difficult. We all know the Astros have taken your soul. That's been obvious over the last few years. They have beaten you, they've dragged you, they've embarrassed you. We all know that.
Yeah.
We understand what happened in 2017 or what happened in 2019 or what happened last year. Now this year, as you watch from the sidelines, yeah, the Astros are doing it again. That's nothing new. But now they're doing something else that has to scare you and has to anger you. They're coming for that dynasty's ass. Because this Astros team, who last night celebrated their seventh consecutive appearance in the ALCS. A baseball team that is looking to win their third world championship, to go to their fifth World Series since this dynasty began in 2017. Here's the reality. First, they beat your modern Yankees, and now they're coming for the dynasty's ass.
Does your back hurt at all today?
From what?
From reaching this hard.
This isn't reaching.
You know what the Dynasty Yankees did? They won 4 World Series before losing a single one.
I get that.
Okay?
I get that.
Yeah.
96, 98, 99,
Yes.
2000. Yeah, I got you.
The Astros have already lost 2.
Oh, so that disqualifies them?
Yes, it does.
Really?
You cannot be, quote, coming for that dynasty's ass if you could not win 3 in a row. If you could not win 3 out of 4 before losing 2 already. And, oh, by the way, the Yankees have taken a lot of bows for beating the Minnesota Twins. That's all the Astros did here. They got to take our place and whoop it up with the Twins. Can they beat the Rangers? Because got news for you. They're a lot closer to the 90s Braves just with one more ring than they are the Yankee dynasty.
Hold on a second. This is a baseball team that won a World Series in 2017. They got back to an ALCS in 2018.
Okay.
They got to another World Series in 2019.
Cheated.
They came back from 3-0 down in the ALCS in 2020, but lost in the ALCS.
Okay.
The 7th game. That's the furthest this Yankee team has gone in about a decade and a half. They go back to the World Series in 2021.
Okay.
They go back to the World Series in 2022.
Win.
They win. And now they're on the verge of doing it again. Like,
are you sure they're going to beat the Rangers? I'm not.
Look, it's in front of them. I mean, are they going to beat them? We'll see. I don't know. Track record says yes. The track record says they'll be back. But they are right now writing a script that is going to match and maybe surpass the late 90s Yankees. And I know that's difficult. I know you guys take that very personal. And that's not a knock on what the Yankees accomplished. Listen, I grew up in the Dynasty era. All right? I remember how they beat my team's ass in 2000.
That's right.
To kind of cap it off. Like, I get it.
Take that, Benny Agbayani.
And I have great respect for Bernie and Jeets and O'Neill and Mo and Joe Torre. But when you think about payroll disparity, when you think about turnover at manager, turnover in roster, I'd even argue that what the Astros have accomplished to this moment is more impressive than what the late 90s Yankees did.
Hold on, Ev.
What?
Why have the Astros had a turnover at manager?
Oh, the manager?
Yeah.
Well, there was this accusation that was levied at the Astros.
Yeah. They cheated.
Okay, so that disqualifies them?
First of all, you cannot have a dynasty where your first World Series was won by blatantly cheating when other teams weren't.
So how about one of your World Series, I don't know, featuring a guy who was clearly roided out of his mind when he threw a bat at a player? What about that one? Does we forget that one?
You're talking about Roger Clemens?
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Here's the deal.
That doesn't count. Steroids does not count in this discussion, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it doesn't.
It's only sign stealing.
It doesn't. And look, I know we get sensitive. Some might hear somebody on the radio accuse somebody of cheating and get sensitive, the Rays or anything like that.
I don't know anyone who's accused them of cheating.
When the Yankees rattled off their dynasty and players may or may not have been on PEDs on those teams, Evan, there was something going on in baseball. Everybody was cheating.
Oh, so that makes it okay?
Yes.
So the Boston Red Sox were stealing signs. The New York Yankees were stealing signs.
No.
Like, all their teams were stealing signs.
Emails proved you weren't. And there's a difference between stealing signs, which is gamesmanship, and setting up an elaborate plan and banging on trash cans. And I don't want to hear about it, his wife and his tattoo, possibly wearing beepers on your chest for ALCS.
But Sean, they have now proven that didn't even matter with their success over the last bunch of
But
years.
the foundation was built on cheating.
So this debate then is over no matter what the Astros do because of what happened in 2017?
Yeah,
That's insane.
No, hold
That's
on.
like the Michael LeBron debaters basically saying there's nothing LeBron can do. Michael's better than him. Look, the Astros are writing a script. As much as this may offend you, as much as this may bother you, they are writing a script that's a dynasty. And it's not done yet, and it's not showing any signs of being done. And what they've accomplished over this 7-year stretch, with this being year 7, the 7th consecutive year they're in the American League Championship Series, is one of the most impressive runs in the history of the sport. That includes the Dynasty Yankees. And
there's a difference between being impressive.
Hold on. And you can't delete it because you're bothered by 2017. Everything that happens still... No, you can't.
Sure you can.
Why?
Because the whole reason this started was they got a fake championship.
It's not a fake championship.
It is. They cheated when other teams weren't cheating to get there. Now, do you want to tell me last year they did not cheat? 2022 and they won a ring? Fine.
Oh, you give them 22.
But this is the point, though. You want to tell me they're writing a script. It is 2023 now. If we get to 2024 and they three-peat, like the Yankees did, and you want to come on Evan and Tiki and have this conversation about them overtaking the Yankee dynasty, I'll still be annoyed at 2017, but then we can have that conversation.
Dude, they're on their way.
They're on their way.
Look, I'd argue right now they've been more consistent than the late 90s
I don't
Yankees.
hear that.
How many times did the Yankees go to 7 straight ALCSs? How many times did they do that?
I mean, they went to plenty of meaningless ALCSs where guys like Cliff Lee beat them, then the cheating Astros beat them, the Tigers beat them.
I'm talking about the Dynasty Yankees. Don't move to 2010. Don't move to 2017. During the Dynasty, the answer is they didn't. Okay, they
Dude,
got
a dynasty isn't about going to ALCSs. A dynasty is about the actual hardware. It's about winning year after year, the final prize, the final parade. The Astros right now have only 2 rings, and they were 5 years apart. The Yankees put together 4 rings in 5 years.
I understand.
The Astros haven't sniffed doing that.
Well, the Astros run right now is extending even longer because the 7-year run that, if you want to say, started in 96 with the Joe Torre era, extends to 02 and 03 and 04, where they added one more World Series appearance, but no more championship. The Astros, again, they're not done. In year 7, they have a chance to go to their 3rd consecutive World Series.
Have a chance.
They have it. Well, they're going to be favorites.
Okay, the Yankees have had plenty of chances to extend their run past when they did, and they made a lot of ALCSs.
If the
fell
Astros
short.
win the World Series again this year, what does that tell you?
That means they've won back-to-back World Series.
Yes.
And let's see if they could do the ultimate thing that the Yankees were able to do, win a 3rd straight.
So they're not there yet. All right.
No.
Now, next year, they do it again. Then Sean will finally give them dynastic approval?
Yes, you need to win 3 in a row for me to call you a
But here's
dynasty.
the difference, though. Okay, you're right in terms of championships won versus World Series lost. We all know what the Yankees did. They won in 96. They had the greatest team ever in 98, won in 99, won in 2000, lost in 01. And then basically the dynasty was... They were good, but it was kind of over. Got to a World Series in 03, choked in 04. They also did it every single year with the highest payroll in Major League Baseball.
Okay.
They did it by adding superstar talent throughout that run.
They also did it with their core being exactly
That's
what
fine.
Houston's was and bringing them up.
Okay, you know what the Astros have done? They've lost their core.
Okay.
Like, that's why this
They
dynasty...
didn't add Justin Verlander? Justin Verlander put him over the
No,
top?
first of all, Verlander was at the beginning of this run. He was added in the midst of 2017.
Okay, well, that was a pretty... They don't get there and win
Fine.
without Verlander.
He's your David Cohn. Great. You have that one. Then they acquire Garrett Cole, and they lost him. Then they lose George Springer. Then they lose Carlos Correa. Like, as this run has gone on, and this is why, to me, it is more impressive, despite the fact they haven't won the amount of hardware the Yankees have won. Think about how they've done it. They haven't had a top 5 payroll. They've had a lot of turnover with their roster. They've had to change managers. Yes, it had to do with the cheating scandal. And yet every year, Sean, they're in the ALCS. And every year, they're competing for a World Series. It's not apples to apples. I admit that. But what they're doing, in a lot of ways, is more impressive than the dynastic Yankees. And that's why, if you're a Yankee fan, you should be sick.
Oh,
you should be
Evan,
sick
you
at that
are
celebration
so
last
reaching.
night. I'm not
they
reaching.
beat the freaking Twins. And also, by the way, let's...
Oh, hold on. No, hold on. Time out. Because you said that one too many times now.
No, because
they
the truth.
beat the Twins. So when you beat the Twins, it's okay.
No, first of all, you play who's in front of you, which they did.
So then stop bringing up they beat the Twins.
Because when the Yankees, and dare I say, we beat the Twins, you and every other Met fan who hates the Yankees and waves the pot, oh, can they show up? They play the Twins
I
again?
haven't said
and then
that.
you're celebrating that.
Sean,
Now,
I haven't said that in the course of this debate. I haven't knocked who the Yankees beat in the 90s.
I'm just
You're
saying.
the ones bringing up who the Astros beat, who,
But
by the way...
You're piggybacking this off of them beating the freaking Twins. That's all I'm saying.
No, I'm piggybacking on the fact that they're in their 7th consecutive ALCS.
Great.
They've got a chance to go to their 3rd consecutive World Series. They've got a chance to go to their 5th World Series in 7 years. That's what it's about. To minimize who they beat. Give me a break. They beat the Yankees how many times during this run?
Now let's play a little trip down memory lane because you want to throw about the Yankee payroll and everything else. How many World Series Jason Giambi won with the Yankees?
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
That's the post-Dynasty era.
The Dynasty era of the Yankees, okay, was built on all of these guys that they came up with. And who are we really talking about in terms of big edge? Chuck Knobloch, who was great.
Yeah,
Mariano Duncan that first
You
year.
don't win the World Series in 2000 without Roger Clemens.
In a trade, fine. They added Verlander.
I'm just saying that.
And they'd already won a couple without that.
I'm just saying that the Yankees had this very different method of building. They had a great core, of course.
They pretty much had the same method of building. When they really added payroll, that was when they stopped winning.
No. In 1996, where do they rank in payroll? Number 1.
Okay.
No, number 1. In 1998, they were number 2, for being fair. In 99, 1. In 2001. In 2001, 1. The Astros are not that. So in a lot of ways, and also in this era of baseball, I think it's more impressive. I think it's even more impressive.
We have a society that, and maybe this is partially us, late 30s, 40s, where we grew up with the Yankees. We had the Jordan Bulls and then the Shaq Kobe Lakers and then the Brady Patriots. Mm-hmm. We are so quick to want to use the word dynasty with things that aren't that. What the Astros are on right now is simply an awesome run. They should absolutely be credited. They're in the mix for a championship every year. I'm sure we'd all sign up for it as fans. But the dynasty word, I mean, that is the creme de la creme. That is winning multiple titles in a row, not just hanging around, hey, we won a title, 5 years later we win another, and we're in the ALCS. No. The Yankees, the Patriots, the Lakers, the Bulls, we're talking about three-peat teams.
So what you're doing is what a lot of people also do. We're very quick. You say we're quick to throw out dynasty. We're quick to defend our childhood like it's a binky we don't want to give up. I'm not insulting what the Yankees accomplished. I have great respect for the Yankee dynasty. In my mind, the 98 Yankees are the greatest baseball team I've ever seen. But what happens, it's like the Jordan-LeBron debate. It's very similar. It's like the Tom Brady-Joe Montana debate. You don't want to give up what you grew up with for something that's happening right in front of you, especially with a team you despise. What the Houston Astros are accomplishing right now with their 7th consecutive ALCS, on the verge of their 3rd consecutive World Series, with a chance to win another World Championship. They are what you loved as a kid. They're what me and Loogie hated as a kid. They're the evil empire, bitch. And you don't know how to deal with it.
I do know how to deal with it. I know how to deal with it just fine.
By claiming they're nowhere near the 90s Yankees. Guess
they're
what?
not.
Guess what? They're more impressive. And I'll tell you another thing while we're at it.
Oh, jeez.
I'll tell you another thing while we're at it.
2 championships or 4? What's more impressive?
I'll tell you another thing that you're not going to want to admit. Jose Altuve is better than Derek Jeter.
No, he's not.
It kind of is.
No, he's not. He's 33 years old and has 2 rings on his finger, and he's 1,000 hits away from 3,000. So you could throw me OPS and WAR. What is it good for? Absolutely nothing. I mean, whatever.
You're right. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go right down your alley, Yankee fans of the late 90s. I'm going to go right down your alley. What I was always told was look at the postseason. And I'm like, okay, I'll look at the postseason. Derek Jeter played 158 postseason games. A very respectable 20 home runs and 61 RBIs. Altuve's played in 96 of them. 24 home runs, 50 RBIs. He's already hit 4 more home runs than Jeter. But if you want to tell me, but that's not what Derek does. Derek scores runs. Jose Altuve has scored 80 runs in his postseason career. Derek Jeter, 47. And that's in how many more games? 64 more postseason games. Here's the reality. And again, I don't like being this guy.
Okay, I mean,
Jose Altuve has passed Derek Jeter, and this Astro team is passing the Yankee dynasty. And it's only adding insult to injury because you don't like them to begin with.
Now, quick, I know your scorebook is in your office. Yes. I want you to think off the top of your head. When in the runs of these nice ALCSs and cute World Series losses has Jose Altuve run across the field to a position he didn't belong and flip the ball to a catcher to get a guy out?
That's what we're doing now.
I'm just saying there are a lot of intangibles here that go into being the better player. So when Altuve can put 5 rings on his fingers and do that little thing that Judge embarrassingly did with the Jordan jump ring, the Bill Russell, or the Michael Jordan, I don't want to hear it. He's not as good. He's a very good player. This is a very good run, but we have now lowered our bar on what a dynasty is, and until the Astros three-peat, they are not a dynasty.
But when they do three-peat, then you're going to throw out their first championship and say it doesn't count.
Well, but that won't be part of the three-peat. That won't be part of the three-peat.
Look, here's the scary thing about the Astros. This dynasty, I know you don't want to call it that.
It's not a dynasty.
It's still going. It's like an engine that's not been derailed. Like, they only won 90 games this season, which for the Astros is really, really low. But they're back. They're back in the ALCS. And while they've lost guys over the years, they've developed guys, whether it's Framber Valdez and Christian Javier and Jeremy. They are a machine.
Evan,
and that's what's so different than the Yankees.
Evan.
They're like a whack-a-mole. Like, they lose guys, you think they're dead, and then new guys emerge. And so in 2023, as they're about to get to their third consecutive World Series, here's the scary thing for you, and even the scary thing for me, right? Because do I want the Houston Astros winning the World Series every year? Kind of.
Yeah, what do you care?
They're not going anywhere.
Well, Evan, I know you and I had two very different childhoods. Very different childhoods. What you need to understand, and I get it, Met, Jet, Net, Islander fan is...
I'm a loser.
Yes.
Making those championships is awesome. Like, you wear that Mets sweatshirt, I wear that Rangers 2014 shirt. I love it. I get it. You should celebrate it. But it's not the same thing as actually winning the whole damn title. So you slapping the dynasty tag when this team's already lost 2 World Series and celebrating all these trips to the ALCS and then having the nerve to slap dynasty on it, we live in 2 different worlds, brother. I've seen a lot of parades. You haven't. The Astros have come up short way more than they've risen that trophy, that piece of metal ahead of their head. It ain't a dynasty.
And you know what else they've done that was better than the late 90s Yankees? This is, again, I feel bad doing this. Win 100 games. They've done that a bunch of times during this run. 98 Yankees certainly did it. Best team I've ever seen. They didn't do it in 96. They didn't do it in 99.
Do you think I'd give the assist his ass if we didn't win 100 games and won a title? Who cares how many times they won 100
When you won 114 games in 1998, all I heard was 125 wins, 125 wins. Now it doesn't matter how many wins you get.
Well, 104 doesn't. It's how you get there. If you get there and you win a World Series, nobody cares. 88 wins in 2000, nobody cares. Win the title.
I get it.
Astros haven't won enough titles yet. And I'm sorry, them popping champagne because they beat the Minnesota Twins. Let's talk in 4 weeks, however long they're going to drag out this playoffs. It's going to go to Thanksgiving if they win a title again. And if they two-peat, then we could talk about a three-peat.
Stop attacking that they beat the Twins. I mean,
I have to hear it every time the Yankees beat the Twins.
Those late 90s Yankees beat the Texas Rangers. They were jokes back then. The 96 Rangers, give me a break. The 98 Rangers, give me a break.
First of all, Juan Gonzalez Rangers is so much better than anybody not named Carlos Correa on the Minnesota Twins.
And the other thing about those, beating the A's in 2000? Come on. The A's.
They made movies about those teams.
Yeah, crappy movies that were not even accurate.
Oh, yeah.
So you want to attack the Twins, I'll attack the teams you guys beat in the divisional series. Here's the point, Yankee fans. You better root for the Texas Rangers because the Houston Astros are coming for that dynasty's ass. Toll-free numbers 877-337-6666. A lot to do today. Bad Tiki returns. Kirk Cousins may be very interested in being a New York Jet. And Daniel Jones may not play football for a very long time.